It is Thursday, August 8th. I'm Ken Bufa. The remains of Tropical Storm Debby are heading our way, but it looks like we may miss the worst of it. Meteorologist Bill Corbell shows us what to expect.
Well, after battering the southeastern U.S. from Florida to the Carolinas with wind and especially record-setting rainfall, what's left of Tropical Storm Debby is northbound now, accelerating and weakening. And the good news is we'll pass well west of us on Friday, maybe 150 miles west of here for the center, which means minimum impact compared to what it could be. There could be 4 inches of rain upstate New York and Pennsylvania. Here, though, probably an inch or so, maybe an isolated spot more, mainly Friday evening, overnight till just pre-dawn hours of Saturday. That's when the bulk of the heavy rain will get here. But it will be windy tomorrow. Winds could gust easily to 40 miles per hour all day long, and maybe in the evening some gusts to 50. And now, fortunately, high tide is noontime, so I think flooding may be minimal, but still something to contend with overnight with those strong winds and certainly some beach erosion. Good news is, again, as the storm pulls out quickly, in fact, it'll be up across Maine by Saturday. We should see much better weather with the sun returning by late Saturday morning and on through the rest of the weekend. For NewsdayTV, I'm meteorologist Bill Corbell.
Now for the latest on Debby and the local impact, click Get More on the NewsdayTV video box. The Manhattan man accused of shooting 2 NYPD officers has now been indicted. The exact charges against Joshua Dorsett won't be made public until his arraignment next month. Now, he allegedly opened fire on the officers last week in Chinatown. One of the wounded officers, Sergeant Christopher Leap, is from Suffolk County. He's in the white shirt there. He's recovering at home. The other officer, who is from Queens, is also recovering. Now, the shooting began after police received a 911 call and began chasing Dorsett. He's being held without bail. And dozens of people are losing their jobs at a Garden City aircraft component company. AAR Management says 83 employees are being laid off. That's more than 70% of its workforce. Now, the company is planning to move parts of its operation out of state. And now to a story of a Ronkonkoma woman who's doing something that most of us will never get to do.
Happy birthday to you.
Mary Papillon is celebrating her 108th birthday. That's right, the big 108. She was born August 3rd, 1916. She gave the younger folks at the party a bit of a warning.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
If you don't use it, you lose it. Now, what's a party without cake? Mary has 7 grandchildren, 15 great-grandchildren, and 1 great-great-grandchild. And mortgage rates have just dropped to their lowest point in more than a year. The average rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage dipped to 6.47%. Now, that's more than a quarter point lower than last week. Business reporter Jonathan Lamontie explains what this means for house hunters.
For buyers, this means that your monthly payment as people are browsing houses will go down, and they have more buying power when they're looking at these different houses. It also could mean that people have a little bit more buying power, potentially, bid up homes if there are, multiple offers on a house. For sellers, this is going to mean that potentially, if you haven't listed your house yet, you might decide that this is the time to, finally upgrade to that bigger house or downsize because you're less worried about shifting from a mortgage rate that might be around 4% to one that's around 6.5%. Then last year you might have been looking at about 7% for your 30-year fixed.
Now, to read more about the interest rate drop, click Get More below the NewsdayTV video box. And there's a new plan in Suffolk that's supposed to crack down on executive pay at nonprofit organization. Jasmine Anderson and Vera Shineze have the story you'll see only in Newsday.
2 Suffolk County legislators have proposed a bill that would limit any aid to any nonprofit whose CEOs make more than the governor. Joining me now to talk more about it is Newsday's Vera Shineze. How would this work if this were to move forward?
Okay, so there's numerous nonprofits in Suffolk County that contract with the county to provide services such as homeless shelters, things like that. The way this would work is these nonprofits would have to disclose their employee salaries to the county, which technically they already do that. But the nonprofits that pay any of their executives more than the governor's salary, which in 2024 is $250,000 a year, would be barred from contracting with the county.
So now you talk to various nonprofits. What are critics saying about this?
So the critics saying that it's unfair, that it unfairly targets nonprofits because the bill doesn't extend to other county contractors such as paving companies or outside law firms. It's only focused on the nonprofit sector. So some of the people who work in that field, they feel targeted by this bill.
Now the public will be able to comment on this as well.
Absolutely. So the way that this works is it's going to be introduced in the Budget and Finance Committee, which meets on August 27th. Then it's going to go for a public hearing before the full legislature, likely on during its September meeting. So the public will have the chance to weigh in on this.
Okay, Vera, thank you.
Now, some examples we found. Family Service League CEO Karen Borstein earned about $452,000 in 2022. Long Island Housing Partnership Chief Executive Peter Elkowitz earns a $408,000 salary. And Jeffrey Reynolds, Family and Children's Association President and CEO, earned more than $390,000 in 2022. Now, to read more about this story, go to Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
Mental health is a balancing act, and Long Islanders are looking towards Simone Biles, the most decorated American gymnast, for inspiration. Carissa Kelman has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
It's a lot of pressure to do this.
Gymnastics superstar Simone Biles sparked a global conversation about mental health in sports when she withdrew from multiple events in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics.
How important is mental toughness in a sport like gymnastics?
Just as tough as physical toughness. If you don't have one, you don't have the other.
But you don't have to be an Olympian to feel the same struggles as Biles. Long Island gymnasts have found inspiration in her mental health journey.
She gave both coaches and gymnasts, I think, a voice, a way to show that they can speak up and express their concerns.
You feel like you're gonna throw up sometimes. There will be days where I'm scared to go for a skill, but I can do this skill. I've never gotten hurt on this skill. I can do it really good, but my brain, for some reason, shuts off. It's telling me I can't.
Leah Jansen is a mental health coach at Ward Melville High School who helps student athletes balance stress.
So I try and teach them how to pick themselves up when they're down, how to get over making a mistake, how to deal with failure.
I would breathe in and out, slow breaths, and I'd be I talk to myself. I'd be I can do this. If I do the skill solely in my head, that would help.
We have to normalize that conversation and say you can be better if you ask for help. And look at what happened with Simone Biles. And she is just making the conversation more normal.
We're all realizing that communication is a big thing to support these athletes. Those lines of communication, I think, have opened up so much more with, role models showing that it needs to.
For Newsday TV, I'm Carissa Kelman.
To read more about mental health in sports on Long Island, go to Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
What's Up on Long Island is brought to you by EastEndGetaway.com. End up here.
All right, here's what's up on Long Island. Check out the Palmanuk Powwow. The outdoor event features Aztec and traditional dancers, drumming, and Native American food. It's Saturday and Sunday at Tanner Park in Copiague. And the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo, the event features arcade and retro games to play, cosplaying, special guest panels, and more. It's Friday and Saturday and Sunday, mind you, at the Cradle of Aviation Museum.
I'd spend 10,000 hours and 10,000 more. Oh, if that's what it takes to learn that sweetheart of yours.
That's a lot of hours. Dan and Shay are coming to the Northwell at Jones Beach Theater. The duo will appear with Jake Owen and Dylan Marlowe for the Heartbreak on the Map Summer Tour, Saturday night in Wonton. For admission info, more events, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Now let's take another look at your Long Island weather and see those remnants from Debbie, shall we? So tonight we do have some showers. Tomorrow we have some scattered thunderstorms and wind to deal with. But check out the temps. They're pretty elevated from what we've been used to past week or days even. Now tomorrow we do have that rain. Temps are in the 80s, which is a little warmer than what we're used to, like I said. But check it out. We do have some dry weather coming through beginning on Saturday, which is a relief.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Sun Nation Energy, helping Long Islanders save on their energy bills for over 20 years.
You're watching Newsday TV. I'm Ken Buffa. Thank you so much for joining us.